Welcome to Pop City Culture. Today we're going to be talking about the 2020 pandemic flashback here on Pop City Culture.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You'll never have the sacred stone.
Oh, this you crazy mother. Welcome to the most listened to international podcast around the world. Hakeem and Reggie Brown are two young African-American boys speaking the truth. This is Pop City Culture.
Hey, what up, everybody? That's right, we here on Pop City Culture, and I am like the star of the show. My name is Reggie Brown, and I'm here with my brother, Hakeem. But, you know, he thinks he, knows it all. But anyways, since I'm doing the intro, because you know what? Because he be doing the ending. So I'm doing the intro. We are going to be talking about 2020 pandemic flashback. So that's going to be our topic today. And oh man, we got a lot going on. Don't we there, Hakeem?
Yeah, that's right. So we're going to be talking about
what are we going to be talking about?
The pandemic and everything that happened from January to, pretty much where we are now, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I just want to say, right now, me and my brother, we're having some eggnog and we're chilling. So, I tell you, they only have this eggnog twice a year around the holidays or something like that. Well, 3 times, but we usually get it twice. And our dad, he's so cheap.
This dude is
that he don't want to
cheap.
buy nothing. He hoards it all. He has this little refrigerator in his room. And, he doesn't even want to share, does he, Reggie?
No, man, that man be cheap as man. Our dad is so cheap when we got to go to the bathroom. He makes us pull both 2-ply toilet papers apart.
Reggie, I don't think we need to know that. That's too much information. So, you just keep that to yourself.
Man,
Anyways,
you keep that to yourself.
As everybody knows, we have this huge pandemic going on, and it's the COVID-19. So this thing is all over the world. And
man,
a lot
it's
of people are dying.
all over the world.
And, they're going to be coming out with this vaccine, and everybody's sort of worried about it. If you heard our last podcast, we ended up talking about it.
That's right, we talked about it because, this vaccine thing, it's scaring everybody. Everybody's scared.
And Reggie was telling me that I should, I think he was saying he wanted me to get it or something, or was trying to put me in a corner.
Yo, man, don't be putting words in my mouth. I wasn't trying to put you in no corner, man. You stupid again, man. You just talking this crap. I did not say nothing like that. I was just asking you, man, if you was gonna get the vaccine because you're so hostile. Just get on with it. I'm tired of listening. People want to hear me, so you just keep talking so you can get done. They can hear me.
Okay, whatever you say, Reggie. Anyways, so like I said, this pandemic is going rampant, and a lot of people are saying what it can do, what it can't do, and there have been a lot of doctors who said, they were giving out all these numbers as far as how many people are going to die, and for the common people like us, we don't really have any real information, so we have to rely on what the news media and the doctors say, because we're trusting them with their word, but we just want everybody to know how accurate they were or how inaccurate they were. So, we like to give both sides. So, like my brother said, this is 2020 pandemic flashback. And here's an update look back at how the pandemic has progressed through 2020. So, before we even start, I'd like to ask you a question, Reggie. What kind of a year do you think we had so far?
Yo, man, it was messed up, man. Man, I couldn't even go to school. It was messed up. It was like I'm in a prison here in this house. I don't even call it a house. I call it a shelter. You want to know why I call it a shelter? Because I can't go nowhere. It's like I'm trapped, man. All my friends, they all be doing their own thing. And me and my friends, we used to hang out all the time. But now I'm stuck here playing video games and watching TV. Man, it's sort of messed up. I want to go back to school.
No, I don't know, but tell me why.
Because, you know why? Because of the lunches I told you the last time. I love the school lunches, man. Those lunches are off the hook.
Man, you complain.
Man, they are so off the hook. I like Pizza Friday. I like Hamburger Friday. Man, I even like the chocolate chip cookies. I never knew how much I liked them chocolate chip cookies, man. But I tell you, and you know what else I like?
What do you like, Reggie?
I like gym. Because gym is my
gym
favorite.
Is not
my favorite,
a course.
favorite course of the day.
Reggie, gym really isn't a real course that's going to help you in life. But, whatever you say, I'm going to just let you go with that. and we're going to be talking about what happened. So, anyways, January 19th, WHO, not the question who, but WHO is actually called the World Health Organization. So that's what we know as WHO. They announced mysterious coronavirus-related pneumonia in Wuhan, China. And at this point, the World Health Organization still had doubts about the roots of what would become the COVID-19 pandemic, noting that the state of pneumonia-like cases in Wuhan could have stemmed from a new coronavirus. Now, I'm sitting here reading this because I want everybody to know that, I take a lot of notes and we do a lot of research.
Man, we do a lot of research.
So they're talking about how it stemmed from a new coronavirus. So that makes me believe that there have been other coronaviruses around, and we're just now noticing or picking up that, because I'm almost wondering why they call it COVID-19. Maybe there's been more than 19 cases, or there is 19 cases. But anyways, it says here, stemmed from a new coronavirus. There are 59 cases so far, and traveling precautions are already at the forefront of experts' concern. So, basically what I just said means, there were 59 cases so far in January 9th. So, anyways, it was really scary. Right, Reggie?
Yo, man, of course it was scary, man. We be watching the Walking Dead zombie kind of movie stuff, and everybody's talking about people dying and could die, and they're spitting out numbers like they spitting out facts. You know what I'm saying?
No, Reggie, I don't know exactly what you're saying, because if you're spitting out facts, then you're spitting out facts, right?
Yo, man, shut up. You're always trying to dissect my words. Don't be sitting here dissecting my words in front of the world. Nobody wants to hear how dumb you are. You know what I'm saying?
Do you mean nobody wants to hear how smart I am?
Yo, man, shut up. You're doing it again. You make me sick, man. Just go on. Go on and read your stupid little notes.
Okay. All right. So anyways, moving right along from January 9th to January 20th, the CDC, which stands for the Center for Disease Control, they say that 3 U.S. airports will begin screening for coronavirus. So and that's because, if I remember correctly, 3 additional cases of what is now the 2019 novel coronavirus are reported in Thailand and Japan. That caused the CDC to begin screening at JFK International Airport, San Francisco International Airport, and Los Angeles International Airport. Now, listen, I don't know if anybody knows this. These airports are picked because flights between Wuhan and the United States bring the most passengers through them.
I didn't know that.
So, this is almost like the belly button of exactly where you want to go. I mean, if you want to stop something, you really have to go here, because people all over the world, because it's called what, Reggie?
Man, I lost you at CDC. What are you even talking about?
Okay, Reggie, keep up, okay? What I'm saying is the airports were being screened because people from all over the world went to these airports, and because they could come from different countries, they could possibly had carried the coronavirus, which could in fact infect other people. Because at that time, people really weren't wearing face masks. They weren't really adamantly saying you have to wear a mask, you have to do this. If I remember, maybe they did, but I don't think that's when it all started.
Well, in any case, it started now.
But so when they were screening for stuff, I mean, you know what they were screening for? Reggie?
Man, of course I know what they're screening for. I'm listening. You make it sound like I'm just sitting here drinking my eggnog. I'm not just drinking my eggnog. I'm eating some cookies too. But anyways, what was the question again?
Reggie, what were they screening for?
Oh yeah, they were screening for the coronavirus, and man, they were taking everybody's temperature, and they were making sure you weren't having the sweats and coughing, and having the shakes and stuff. And if they were just making sure you weren't sick, man, is that what you're trying to get me to say? They were just making sure you weren't sick. So why you gotta go into this whole dramatization to try to keep putting me on the spot like this?
Reggie, I'm not putting you on the spot. This is like an interactive podcast. What is wrong with you, Reggie? Why don't you put the eggnog down? If you put the eggnog down, maybe you could concentrate more on our podcast.
Yo, man, maybe if you put your eggnog down, we could concentrate more.
Reggie, I'm not drinking any eggnog. What are you talking about?
Man, just go on with what you're saying.
Okay. Anyways, January 21st, the CDC confirms the first U.S. coronavirus case, and that was a Washington State resident, and that becomes the first person in the United States with a confirmed case of the 2019 coronavirus. So, having returned from Wuhan on January 15th, thanks to overnight polymerase chain reaction testing, the CDC soon after deployed to learn to help with the investigation, including potential use of contact tracing. I'm not going to ask Reggie what that means. What that basically means is the CDC was trying to trace where everybody came from because everybody needed to know what was going on, how many people were sick, who came from where, and it was a scary time. Now, as everybody knows, we are doing a 2020 pandemic flashback, and we're just giving you a brief timeline of what's happening. So that was from January 9th to January 21st, but also on January 21st, a Chinese student confirms COVID-19 human transmission because at that point, the coronavirus had killed 4 and infected more than 200 people in China before Zhang Nashim, medical doctor, finally confirms it can be transmitted from person to person. However, the WHO is still unsure of the necessity of declaring a public health emergency. So because, it had killed 200 people were infected, and as we know, with the regular flu per year, about, if I got it right, probably more than, I want to say more than 10,000, maybe at the most 30,000 people die of the regular flu.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So
Yeah.
I think in China they have like 1 billion people. So 200, if they do the math, it has to reach a certain point to actually be a mass epidemic. But on January 23rd, Wuhan was now under quarantine. That's right, in just 2 days, 13 more people died. Of an additional 300 were sickened. And China makes the unprecedented move not only to close off Wuhan and its population of, now get this, guys, 11 million people, but to also place a restricted access protocol on Huanggang, 30 miles to the east, where residents can't leave without special permission. Now, you know what that means?
No, tell me what it means, because I'm waiting to hear what this means. I'm listening.
That means up to 18 million people are under strict lockdown. And that was pretty tough for everybody there.
Yo, man, it is tough because, you know what, Hakeem? Everybody's got to work and everybody's got to do stuff. I don't even know how they're going to survive back then because we like hardly surviving now. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Reggie. But right now, it's getting worse. But, we're going to get to that because, we're like doing this timeline. So, on January 31st, now this is like a whole month now, the World Health Organization, as we said, that's the abbreviation for WHO, issues global health emergency with a worldwide death toll of more than 200, an exponential jump to more than 9,800 cases. The WHO finally declares a public health emergency. For just the 6th time, human-to-human transmission is quickly spreading and can now be found in guess where?
Yo, man, I know where. It's the United States, Germany, Japan, Vietnam, and Taiwan.
That's right, Reggie. All those places. It was getting worse. And then February 2nd, global air travel was restricted.
Yeah, yo, Hakeem, I remember this because by 5 p.m. on that Sunday, those who were en route to the United States had to leave China, or they could face a 2-week home-based quarantine if they had not been in Hubei province. And you know what? The mainland visitors, however, they will need to undergo all those health screenings when they return, and that was a whole lot of health screenings. And foreign nationals, they could even be denied admittance. Right, Hakeem?
Yeah, that's right. And other countries were beginning to impose similar air travel restrictions at the point, including Australia, Germany, Italy, and New Zealand. But then, now listen to this. On February 3rd, the U.S. declares a public health safety. That's February 3rd. The Trump administration declares a public health emergency due to the coronavirus outbreak. The announcement comes 3 days after WHO declared a global health emergency as more than 9,800 cases of the virus and more than 200 deaths had been confirmed.
Yo, man, I remember that. No, don't forget February 10th. Hakeem, China COVID-19 deaths exceeded those of the SARS crisis. Remember SARS? Man, now the COVID-19, Hakeem, if I remember, the death toll surpassed that of the severe acute respiratory syndrome. I guess you didn't know I knew that word. the outbreak from 17 years ago, and that had totaled 908 reported deaths in China in the last month compared to 774 deaths in the SARS crisis.
Yeah, Reggie. But in February 25th, the CDC says COVID-19 was heading towards pandemic status, explaining what would signify a pandemic. Nancy Messner, MD, director of the CDC National Health Center for Immunization and Respiratory Disease, says that thus so far, the COVID-19 meets 2 of the 3 required factors. Now listen to this. Illness resulting in death and sustained person-to-person spread. Worldwide spread is the 3rd criteria, not yet met at that time. But now listen to this, Reggie, and everybody out there. March 6, 21 passengers on a California cruise ship tested positive.
Oh, man, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
That's right. 21 people of just 46 tested aboard a cruise ship carrying more than 3,500 people off the California coast test positive for COVID-19.
Say what?
With 19 being, guess what?
The crew? Don't tell me it's the crew.
That's right, the crew members. The ship was held at sea instead of being allowed to dock in San Francisco while testing was conducted.
Busted. Them people got busted. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. This is terrible.
Now, since the event, 60 passengers had sued the cruise line and parent company, Carnival Corp, for gross negligence in how passenger safety was handled. So, a lot of people are upset. You know what I'm saying, Reggie?
Yo, man, I'd be upset too, man. You go on a cruise, I know you gotta save up a lot of money. That's a whole lot of bling bling from floor to ceiling high. You know what I'm saying? And then these people get on a ship and then they got to worry about being sick and dying. Yo, man, where's the justice in that? Ain't that just some common sense? Man, when you got people all combined together like sitting in a sardine can, you know full well somebody's gonna get some oil on them. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, Reggie, I do know what you're saying.
Hey, I do want to take time to say this, though. We both been on a cruise ship, especially Carnival. I'm going to tell you something. When we were on it, they always wore their mask, and they sanitized and cleaned those rooms good. And that was before the virus. So I do want to say, some people might have a gripe, but some people may not. Because when we were there, we saw professional stuff going on, and they really cared about the customers and trying to keep Carnival cruise ship clean. Now you can go on. I just want to say that and get that off my chest because I love going on Carnival cruise. Now go on.
Yeah, but we also gotta say they ain't paying you to say something like that because we don't get paid by them for anything like that.
And I know that, but we just trying to keep it fair, because I like Carnival cruise. Now go on with what you had to say.
And but listen to this. Now we started with January. Coming up to their March now. March 11th, the WHO declared COVID-19 a pandemic. Finally. Now listen to this. In declaring the COVID-19 pandemic, the director of the WHO said at a briefing in Geneva, the agency is deeply concerned by the alarming levels of spread and severity of the outbreak. And he also expressed concern about the alarming levels of inaction because, they thought there should have been more action on this stuff. Now, a few days later...
Man, I'm listening. Now, just hurry up and tell me. I'm listening. I'm sitting right here. Go on, man.
Listen to this. March 13th, President Donald Trump declares COVID-19 a national emergency.
That's right. President Trump declares the novel coronavirus a national emergency, which unlocks billions of dollars in federal funding to fight the disease spread.
Now, that was pretty good. And then March 13th, the travel ban for non-U.S. citizens traveling to Europe goes into effect. The Trump administration issued a travel ban on non-Americans who visited 26 European countries. Now listen to this.
Man, I'm listening. I'm not going anywhere. Just get on to it. Go on, man.
26 European countries within 14 days of coming to the United States. People traveling from the United Kingdom and the Republic of Ireland were exempt.
Yo, man, why they exempt? I don't understand. Don't make no sense.
You know what, Reggie? I'll be honest with you. I don't know why they're exempt because I didn't think you'd call me out on that. So I have no idea. I didn't look that up. But maybe it's because there weren't a lot of cases there. But, I don't want to go spreading misinformation because this is not fake podcast or fake news. So we're just going to have to probably go back on that.
Yo, man, you serious?
No, we're not going back on it because, the next few podcasts we're doing are going to be different. Anyways, going back to this, March 17th, the University of Minnesota begins testing, now listen to this, hydroxychloroquine. The University of Minnesota launches a clinical trial to investigate whether hydrochloroquine can prevent an individual exposed to COVID-19 from becoming ill or reduce the severity of the infection. The trial is limited to those at high risk of exposure and aims to enroll 1,500 individuals.
Yo, man, how'd that turn out?
Well, I don't know, but I will tell you this. I do believe that the hydrochloroquine had some great positive results. Now, if I remember right, they used that in other, people use that for other illnesses. Now, I'm not quite sure what those illnesses were, but I do know, I am going to skip ahead, just ahead, but so we're going to have to go back. I'm not going to skip ahead. We're just going to go right on the timeline. We got to stay on the timeline. So, anyways, March 17th, the administration asks Congress to send Americans direct financial relief. Trump asked Congress to expedite emergency relief checks to Americans as part of an economic stimulus package. The proposal comes just as the United States reports its 100th death from COVID-19. Now, I'm gonna tell everybody, even one death in America from a virus is bad. It should be looked at. We had 100 at that point.
Man.
So,
Absolutely.
it's good to see everybody's taking this seriously. And it's good that the CDC and the WHO organization was on top of this because, this was really serious because to date, a lot of people have died. So anyways, March 19th, California issues a statewide stay-at-home order. California becomes the first state to issue stay-at-home orders mandating all residents to stay at home except to go to essential jobs or shop for essential needs. The order also instructs healthcare systems to prioritize services to those who are the sickest.
Now, we know we got to tell everybody, though, this was mandated by, the governors. I don't think this went through any legislation like the Senate and the Congress. These are people just taking stuff into their own hands, and that's why people are sort of getting upset about it. You know what I'm saying?
So, that's something we really needed to address, and I'm glad, they did something like that because...
Yo, man, how you gonna be glad? People didn't vote on it. That's the whole thing. This ain't no dictatorship. Ain't you always saying stuff like that?
California was just out of control.
Man, you just ignore me now. Okay.
March 25th, reports find extended shutdowns can delay second wave. Now, this is the thing. Mathematical models based on social distancing measures implemented in Wuhan, China, shows keeping tighter measures in place for longer periods of time can flatten the COVID curve.
Yo, man, so are you saying that's where the social distancing came?
It was a model for it, a mathematical model. So they said it was 6 feet. You had to stay 6 feet away from people. And, that's just the way it is right now, up to date to the present date. So, as you know, now we wear our mask. The mask has to cover up the nose and the mouth. People weren't doing that before, and that was really upsetting a lot of people. But we have to wear the mask. We also have to be 6 feet away from people. And, there isn't any handshaking. You can do the fist bump. You can do the elbow bump, all that stuff. But, there isn't no real physical contact.
Yo, man, that must be cutting into the dating sites. Ain't nobody getting no.
Okay, Reggie, that ain't this kind of show. So right now, we're going to go back to, let me see, March 25th. The reports find extended shutdowns can delay second wave. We said that. Now, March 31st, the COVID can be transmitted. Now, listen, this is what I don't get. March 31st, they said the coronavirus can be transmitted through the eyes. Through the eyes. So how good are the masks if it can be transmitted through the eyes? Because after all, it's a virus, not a germ. A virus, it was airborne, I believe, at this time. So a report in JAMA creates the stir with the finding that patients can catch the virus that causes COVID-19 through the eye, despite the low prevalence of the virus in tears. The coverage of the study involves 38 patients in China, drew some attention at the highest readership in 2020 in the AJMC. I don't know if that's the website or a paper, as the findings contradicts assumptions by leading professional societies. So that was like the beginning of, let me see, that was like January, February, and March. So, March 2020. And
We got to talk about what the scientists were saying about the coronavirus. You know, the new coronavirus, according to Dr. Kathleen Zuzil. She was the director of the Center of Vaccine Development at University of Maryland School of Medicine. Go on, see what happened.
on March 1st, there were about 100 confirmed cases of rapidly spreading virus in the United States. So, she was saying millions and millions of people would die. Millions. She said it's a pandemic. It's horrible. And yes, it is a pandemic, and it is horrible.
It's very horrible. But, she was saying we have 350 million people in the United States, and you do the math. Meaning, it wouldn't surprise her when she told them that, she could see millions and millions of people dying, and we should prepare for the worst.
To date, in the United States, I'm not talking about the world. Okay, so understand what I mean. Read my lips. I'm talking about the United States, and she said millions of people could die in the United States.
350 million, that's what she
Millions
said.
haven't died yet. This year. Now we're talking about year. We're not talking about years and collection. We're talking about year to year. So,
and that was based on her saying that 70 million people in the United States eventually would be infected by the virus,
I just want everybody to understand that, because we're trying to get to the bottom of this.
We need to get to the bottom of it. I don't like misinformation. You know what I'm saying? Go on.
There are restrictions across the United States, and at that time and now, and restaurants were rebelling against the new service restrictions imposed by the state and local officials. They argued in court and justifications for their civil disobedience that the measures aren't justified by the true risk of dining out.
Man, that's right. People were real upset, and they're losing money because, waitresses, waiters and waitresses, they only make like $2 an hour, and they live off them tips. So they gotta work, and they got bills to pay. They got kids in school. They got car payments and stuff. So Hakeem, I can understand where these people are coming from because,
I don't know, but tell me.
You gotta work. We are at work in society. People gotta work. You just can't sit home and play video games. That's insane, man, if you think you're gonna be doing that all day. You gotta be productive, and people ain't being productive. I don't know what the outcome is. This is sort of ridiculous, but anyways, Hakeem, go on.
All right, operators have been particularly militant in Michigan, when it comes to rebelling against the services and the restaurants and stuff. And the industry filed a lawsuit challenging Michigan's suspension of indoor dining, a grassroots effort in Detroit, and roused dining into flatly ignoring the table service ban, and a Big Boy franchise refusing to halt indoor service within its Michigan restaurants, even if it means being ousted from the chain.
Man, that's cool because, people who are like independent owners of these restaurants, especially Big Boy, they rely on that money, so don't their workers,
Civil obedience has also been encouraged by Scott Atlas, the former health advisor to President Trump. If we go on, I'm going to read some more. Restaurants are refusing to abide by such measures as suspension of dine-in services, and there was a 10 p.m. curfew on drink sales.
Man, you serious, man? America's got a lot of drunks, man. We all need that alcohol. You know what I'm saying?
Reggie, what do you mean, we all? You don't drink? You're not old enough to drink?
Man, I'm just speaking for the masses because the masses ain't got a voice. Man, go on with your paperwork.
Okay. So in California, where local landmark Eat It Joe's has refused to comply with the county's mandate to halt outdoor restaurant dining, the Coco Bartini in Kennewick, Washington, where customers were encouraged to bring a protest sign when they ate at a martini bar in defiance of the statewide ban on outdoor service. Coco is now being asked customers to contribute to pay for the establishment's legal bills.
So, man, what you mean? Now that they broke the law, now they gotta go to court?
Yeah, that's exactly what it means. Now, listen to this. In some areas, enforcement agents are joining the rebellion. The state attorney of Illinois, essentially the county's highest-ranking prosecutor, has issued a declaration that his office will not enforce a suspension of dine-in restaurant services imposed by statewide Governor Jay Pritzker. Patrick Keneally said the governors lacked the authority to impose such a restriction. So, as you can see, people are standing up. They don't want to be told where they can go and what to do. In fact, people can go to supermarkets. If you are tested positive with the coronavirus, you got to remember, People in supermarkets touch all those cans.
Oh man, I
They
didn't
touch
think of that.
all the carriages.
They sure do.
They
Touch
a
everything.
lot of people touch all the fruit, the apples, the oranges, the onions, the celery, the open lettuce
Oh man,
that aren't wrapped,
it ain't
the peppers, the mushrooms. I mean, there's so much stuff
A lot of stuff.
that people can infect, and you don't know who's infected, even if you have a mask on.
You sure don't. You sure
So
don't. know.
in any case, does it make a lot of sense? I'm not a doctor, so I don't play one on TV. Everybody, I'm just Hakeem Brown, kid who wants to be the voice of the youth and let everybody know what's going on. But anyways, that's it. So there's a whole lot of things going on, and not only here, but even overseas in Liverpool, England. The first time the police came to a Body Tech fitness gym, it was with a polite warning. But 4 hours later, they were back at the same time in force. As the lunchtime goers worked out, about a half dozen officers, some with tasers, ordered the closure of the fitness center. Now, this is in England, Liverpool, and which had, the place had been deemed in breach of England's toughest coronavirus restrictions. But even a show of strength like that doesn't always work, particularly not in a city like Liverpool. While the main entrance was closed, the gym kept a discreet side door open for members to come in and work out.
Oh man, these people trying to beat the system, and it looks like they did it. So I hope nobody got sick though.
On Friday, on that Friday, now this was published in October 22nd, 2020. What happened was, on that Friday, in a head-snapping turn of events, the gym will operate legally for the first time in 9 days, having forced the authorities into an unlikely retreat. So the people of Liverpool won because they all stuck together. They all said, no, we're not going to take this anymore. And, as it was quoted, anyone who's from Liverpool will tell you they are proud of the city. Historically, they have shown that we are not going to lie down when something is unfair, said Nick Whitecone, 29, the owner of the gym.
Good for him, man.
About 6 miles from the city
Somewhere.
center in Morton.
Yeah, I heard that.
As he celebrated a victory achieved through
what?
concerted lobbying of politicians and slick outreach to the media. So people have shown resilience, some would say stubbornness, and it's been long considered a feature of this port city in Liverpool. So this is the way it is, and a lot of stuff is happening all over the world. There's just so much stuff I'm looking at. We are pretty much to the end of our show. So in any case, here's where it stands. People are rebelling. People don't like what's going on. And, the virus will be out soon.
You mean vaccine?
And people have a choice of whether or not they want to take it.
Sure do.
And this is the year in review. And you have seen what has happened thus far, even though there's a whole lot. People can surf the internet, see exactly the day by day things that had been going on, but these are tough times. So that brings us to what, Reggie?
Yo, man, that brings us to the end of our show. I thought you would never shut up, man. Anyways, it's time for our words of wisdom for my brother. So take it away, Hakeem. Do your little words of wisdom.
2020 has been a year no one will ever forget. No adult, no child, because we are the children of the COVID generation. We are forever scarred by the way we have been treated and the information the government has given and has not given us. How unfortunate that we, the people, don't really know what to believe. 1 minute, the experts say that millions upon millions in the United States will die by the end of the year. Then, when the numbers from the experts don't add up, then their story changes. They make excuses for why the numbers are so low. Funny how no credit is given to the President of the United States. Some say that it is because of him the deaths are so low. Others refuse to comment at all. And some say it's the reason the deaths are so high is because of him. But nobody really knows what to believe because of all the misinformation going on. In any case, this was the year in review, and how history will be the judge of what happened, we will never know, because if history is any indication as to how the future will see us, then God have mercy on our souls. Because most of history is recorded to show the villains as the heroes, and sometimes the heroes as the villains. But I suppose that reading is believing, because history isn't made up, is it? No, it's not. Just ask the Native American Indians.
Yo, man, that was sort of deep. That made me think on a philosophical level, man. Okay, anyways, we want to thank everybody for joining us today on Pop City Culture. And what else you got to say, Hakeem?
Well, you said it all. Thanks for joining us on this episode. And we want you to come back again and listen to us and what we have to say. Remember to be kind and affectionate to one another. Remember whose you are. See you next time on Pop City Culture. Peace.